Welcome to another episode of MRD Chatroom, where we delve into the minds and hearts of Bajan musicians. My name is Julia Boyce, and today we are very pleased to have one of, in my opinion, Barbados's most illustrious music educators and arrangers, the one and only Roger Gittens. Thank you for joining us today, Roger.
Thank you for having me.
Now, as we explore your musical journey today, I want to start by first talking about your education here in Barbados. Could you share with us a little bit about your early school days, who inspired you really to start making music?
Well, music for me started at home, playing with my sister. I have a sister who's just a year younger, and we grew up in Union Road, St. Philip, and there are not a lot of people living in Union Road, St. Philip, so we played together a lot, and we held concerts in the house.
Oh, that's nice.
Put the dolls in the bed, created a running order, and we would perform folk songs and hymns and whatnot. And I think that really got me going in terms of music. My mom, she was the choir leader, choir director at her church. And so we were always around music, and she always wanted to play piano, but her family could never afford one. So I'm one of three children. So all three of us were sent to piano lessons as little ones. I'm the only one who stayed with it. So that's really, really where it started. Going to piano and I guess just singing and doing stuff around the house musically.
Okay, nice.
Education-wise, Harrison College would have been a very big influence. There's a program there at the school where you could learn an instrument for about, I think it's like $2 a term.
Wow.
And from my first term at Harrison College, I decided I wanted to play. Well, first I wanted to play flute. There were no flutes available, so Janice Milne, who's my teacher at the time, said, well, why not try clarinet? So I gave it a try, and the rest is history.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of persons may not know this, but you were a Barbados scholar.
Yeah.
Do you think that having that foundation of music at home influenced you to study it?
I think the joy of music influenced me to study it. In third form, I think up until then, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But in third form, there were only 8 of us doing music at Harrison College. And the episode that really made it for me, that really inspired me, was Nicholas. Nicholas Branca, we were all in the same class. And Nicholas came in one morning and said he had written a song the night before. And it never occurred to me to write anything. So that night I went home and I wrote maybe 8 bars, a bit of manuscript paper, and I wrote 8 bars, and when I played it, the incredible feeling of achievement, that I created something that didn't exist before, that was amazing. And again, there was no turning back. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to write music. I wanted to be involved in music in some way. I wanted to teach as well. But music had to be music from then on, yeah.
That's a very nice story for you to share with us. I really like that, the idea of creating something that has never been created before.
Yeah.
As a Bajan at Berkeley, because you did go to Berkeley after Harrison College, what was that experience like, being in a whole new place, away from family, away from the culture that you knew?
Culture shock. I had been to the US before, but this time I was going to school. And for the first year, you had to live on campus. And on campus at the time was a building about 2 or 3 blocks away from the main building where you took your classes and the cafeteria where you ate. So that was the first big difference, rooming with someone that I didn't know, and then having to eat at a cafeteria.
Yeah.
Food that was definitely American, and also experiencing American life 24/7. The road the street that the dorms happened to be on was a street that was populated by prostitutes, believe it or not.
Wow.
So during the day it was fine, but then in the evenings, you would see some of the ladies of the night and whatnot. So that was interesting, and the pizza culture is also different in the U.S. So it was definitely a culture shock. But one of the things I love about life is learning new things and learning about new things, and that for me was pleasurable.
That's really interesting. I always thought that it would be a culture shock for anyone going to a new place to live, but to imagine having to live with that for how long were you there?
4 years.
4 years.
But the first year I stayed, well, as I said, we had to live on campus. Years 2 and 3, I lived with an aunt, my great aunt, just outside of Boston. So that was another experience because it's Bajan food now, which was great. But I had to take a bus and then take a train to get to college and then do the reverse to get
get back
home.
home.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then my 4th year, my last year, I lived in Fenway Park, which is about 5 minutes away from where Berkeley is situated. So, and that in itself was an experience because I lived with 3 persons, believe it or not, in a one bedroom apartment,
Wow.
and one was a female. We were all students trying to save money, and 2 of us slept in the living room area. One guy slept in the hallway, and the female slept in the bedroom.
Wow.
And that's how we saved money. Yeah.
Wow. Now, after leaving Berkeley, did you go straight into teaching? Because you had a very extensive teaching career, in my opinion. So could you tell us a little bit about why you got into teaching or what inspired you to really start teaching?
Yeah, my mom was a teacher. I think an excellent teacher. She rose to become a headmistress as well. Again, I think excellent head teacher. So I think that's the inspiration. I actually taught 1 year before I went to Berkeley, straight out of Harrison College.
Wow.
Yeah, I taught at Princess Margaret for a year, music. It was a traumatic experience. Not necessarily because of the students or anything, but because I really didn't know how to teach. And I realized that I had to learn how to teach, which is something that Berkeley did very well. The music education program there is excellent. And then as soon as I came back, yeah, I just jumped straight into teaching. Lodge School for 10 years. I came back in 1988, and I taught at the Lodge from 1988 to 1997, and then BCC from 97 to now.
Wow.
Yeah, forever.
Now, outside of teaching, you've been involved in several workshops and written many papers. So could you tell us a little bit about your experience or your role in co-writing for the Cape Performance Arts Syllabus, NCF workshops, the Methodist Church as well?
Yeah, one of the nice things about, I guess, being an educator is that you get asked to do stuff that is education related. And I do like being in situations where you can improve persons and do things that can move persons from point A to point B, and hopefully in a meaningful way that they enjoy the process as well. The Cape experience, that was interesting because a friend of mine who worked at CXC at the time, I was actually on the road driving when she called me and asked if I'd be interested in assisting in writing the Cape syllabus. And I thought about it for a while, and I said, yeah, why not? Give it a try. And the difficulty about it at the time was that I guess there's never a lot of money in the Caribbean. So the goal was to write a syllabus that that included drama, included filmmaking, included dance and music. I was the only person co-opted to do music. The other disciplines had more than one person, so I was a little lonely guy for a while. I had to make a few calls in between to make it work. But the experience was fulfilling, I thought, at the end, and hopefully it's useful and people can use it. The other workshops and whatnot are, again, as I said, because of what I do and because I've been teaching so long too, I do enjoy working outside the classroom, but still in the classroom, taking persons through places maybe in for choirs, doing doing workshops and maybe teaching CXC music. I've done stuff in composition and arranging and that type of thing. So hopefully it all filters down, and we're all the better for it. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now we're going to step away from the education for a little bit, and I want to talk to you about your performances. Now,
Okay.
there was something that I found out about recently that I was so excited to hear about. You were the opening act for Kenny G
Yeah.
in 1999. What was
Believe it
that
or not.
experience like?
I was scared stiff. I had been playing music almost all my life, and interestingly enough, clarinet became my main instrument at Harrison College, and at Berkeley that was my instrument as well. Picked up saxophone and flute, but then Andre Woodvine, we during the summers we would always I would go to his house, he would come to my house, and we would play music together. He's on saxophone and I'm on piano, and he thought I played well enough that we could actually gig. So he graduated from Berkeley 2 years ahead of me, and said, "Well, when you graduate, we can do this thing together in Barbados." And we did. We got together and started a band. So then I was part of his quartet and whatnot. So I sort of grew musically on the piano and playing jazz to the point that I got asked to do a presentation in the 1999 Jazz Festival, and of all things to open for Kenny G. And I was really, I'm a planner. I had it all worked out and everything. We did rehearsals, put together the set. I did all the, back then there was no computer music, so I had to do all the charts by hand and stuff. Put some all-nighters because I was still teaching at the time and whatnot,
Wow.
and got everything together. And I was really good up until like maybe 15 minutes we went on stage. The producers of the show decided we were at the gym, and they said, "Well, you're the headliner, so you have to have your own room." And I was just hanging out with the band, and the guys backstage talking foolishness, and it was pretty cool. But then they separated me from the band. Julia, boy, I started to tremble. I
Oh
tell you,
gosh.
I could not believe. I was good up until then, but from the time when they separated me, and it was like, shoot, you're actually going to do
Kind of
this?
settled in.
Yeah, it hit me, and when I went on stage, I think I was really really anxious until we played the first note, and it sounded good, and people responded, and the really cool thing about it is that people actually asked for more. So I was told at one point, Kenny G came out of his dressing room here in the band and was like checking us out,
Wow.
which was really cool. So I think we did a good job and represented well. So and I up past those 15 minutes where it was trembling to death, I really enjoyed the experience. Yeah.
Nice. Are there any other performances that you would consider to be as memorable as that one?
Well, there are quite a few. I've done the Martinique Jazz Festival with Woodvine, with Andre Woodvine, and that was really really cool to travel. I've also traveled with him, with his quartet, to Canada, Toronto, and that too was really cool. So I've done a bit of touring, I guess you can say, and then for me, performances like with the festival band, there was a period where my last 5 years I was directing the band, and that for me, but I guess memorable would be the word. There were some challenges along the way, and hopefully the things I did to overcome those challenges made the band and the whole competition a little better too. So those things are memorable for me too.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Now let's talk a little bit more about music, specifically crop over music. You've been involved in the festival at both the 10th and the Junior Monarch level. How did you start that process? How did you get into that?
David Weatherhead.
Wow.
I had never been in a tent up until the first night I played in a tent. I was at Berkeley my first year, '84, and David called me and said, "Buy a saxophone because you're going to play in the tents." during the summer, and so I spent up. I think I left like $3 on my account in the U.S. to keep it buoyant, keep it going, and use all the rest of all the money then I had left to buy an alto saxophone, secondhand instrument. Came home and David said, well, he's playing alto, I got to play tenor. So he phoned me a tenor. And I used to go in the backyard and practice, practice the tenor, for a few weeks. And we were in Southern Stars. And the nice thing about it is that, as I said, I always wanted to, but I was always writing music from the third form. So I got the opportunity then to, some of the Calypsonians asked me to arrange their songs. So I started arranging. And yeah, and we played in Southern Stars just 1 year. I'm not sure if they existed after that, but we moved into Concords, and we were in Concords for maybe like 10 years as band leader, for like maybe 5 or 6 years, and playing in the tent. I up until '88, I played saxophone in the tent, and just before he came home in '88, David called and said he could find a saxophonist, but he couldn't find a keyboardist. So buy a keyboard and play keys in the tent. And that was a really wise choice because Desmond Campbell in the festival band, he was Grenadian and he returned home in '88, and the festival band was also looking for keyboardists. So I'm not sure to say audition. I got recommended for the gig, and I could read. I read fairly well, and I got the gig in the festival band. My first year playing keys in the tent.
Wow.
First year playing, yeah, and then playing in the festival band. So I guess Calypso now is like really seasoned in my bones, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you touched on something that I want to go back to. You talked about arranging for artists. So you've arranged for persons like Red Plastic Bag.
Not Red Plastic
Not Red
Bag,
Plastic Bag?
no.
Oh, okay. That was probably...
I've done a medley for him.
Okay.
But it would have been a medley of songs that he's done. He's done already, yeah.
So you put together the medley for
Yeah.
Red Plastic Bag. You arranged for Adrian Clark,
Yeah,
Ian Webster,
yeah.
Quan,
Yeah.
actually, most recently, his song Mathematical Quandary, which you did a fantastic job on.
Right.
Would you say that there are any arrangements you've done that are particularly memorable, or you have any favorites? Because I know as musicians, we can be our biggest critics.
Yeah.
But are there any that you're particularly proud of?
I guess there are quite a few. I try to do the best I can on each arrangement, regardless of who it is. So I mean, over the years, of the ones that have won, definitely John King in '86, Tribute to the Skipper. And back again, John King in '94. Stuff I've done for Adrian, almost everything I've done with Adrian Clark, almost everything I've done with Ian Webster too, because Ian usually is very out of the box Calypsonian, so he usually comes with challenges, musical challenges, karaoke song where he wanted 6 different songs weaved into the choruses of his calypso. I mean, he won the year with it. And I may tell persons that when he came to me with the idea, I actually just put it down for a month. I couldn't think. I said, "Ian got to be crazy. I mean, this just can't work, you know." And so literally took me a month to go back to it and actually try to figure out how to make it happen. So those are some of the ones that really come to mind. But there are ones that would not have won crowns that I am particularly happy about. Last year, Kira, she did a song, "Come For Me," and I'm really proud of that one. I think the fact that it was not a happy song, and the topic is nothing, didn't deal with politics, is social commentary that dealt with the challenge that persons can face. In this case, it was a young lady who ends up in the welfare system, in the home, in a home for children's home system, and she's asking, her grandmother to come, come for her, come and take her home.
Yeah.
And I think I captured the emotion of that, and that was important to me to, to really bring that out. As I said, because it's so unique in the whole scheme of Pickety crop offerings,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, aside from teaching and arranging, you have also won or been presented with several awards. Just to name a few, the Barbados Music Award, Cornerstone Award in 2011, the St. Philip South Constituency Council Award for your contribution to entertainment and culture in 2012, the St. Philip Parish Independence Committee, Like Myself Award 2013, NCF Best Song Ranger of the Festival for the Cropover Festival of 2019, the Barbados National Steel Orchestra Award for Outstanding Contribution to the Music of Barbados, the Barbados Independent Film Festival Award for Artistic Excellence, and the NTF Best Arranged Song of the Festival for Cropover 2022. Now, these are a lot of awards, Roger, I must admit. And first of all, congratulations on such accolades. Would you say that out of all of those awards, are there any moments during those times or the process of writing those songs that would have won those awards for the Cropover festivals in particular that stand out to you?
Well, to be honest, you do the work, and I guess people appreciate the work, and for me the important thing is the work.
Yeah.
I usually don't think of the award. I never think of the award. And I guess as a musician too, you're in the studio or you're home. For me, most of the time it's home at the piano, and you're writing. I guess for me the work is usually the most important thing, and there are times like both my sons are past training monarchs, and both of them now are musicians, professional musicians, and and for me that that is a fantastic reward, the fact that they're pursuing something that they enjoy, and so yeah, so you do the work. I think that's the key thing, and to be honest, I still enjoy doing the work. I won't be doing. I can't see myself doing anything else. From that first moment where you write something that never existed, that still stays with me when I write something, and and especially when people, there are thousands of people that are moved by it. That's still a great thrill for me. Yeah.
Wow. Before we go, is there anything that you would like to tell the younger musicians or anybody who's looking to pursue music? Any words of wisdom?
I would say if it's music that you're looking to do, then it should be your passion. It has to be your passion. If not, you possibly should do something else, and that includes teaching too. I think the best teachers are those persons who are really passionate about it and love what it is that they do. Love young people, love working with young people, love seeing young people grow. For music, it's hard work. I have a very good friend who says, Charles Lewis, who says that his mother never thought that he went to work. So one of the things that he always used to say is that he's not going to go to play music, he's going to work. Because often people see us on stage and they say, well, the fella's really having a ball. And we are, we do enjoy what it is that we do, but we are working.
Yeah.
And usually when you see persons on stage, it's because they've put in hundreds of hours, getting to the point where it looks seamless, it looks effortless, because you have played that particular lick, or in your case, sung, a particular riff 100 times, just so that when you get to the 101st, it is, it's just part of you, and you can express it the way you want to express it. So for persons who are looking to, to do music as a career, I think if you're passionate about, if this is what you really want to do, then then hopefully you will have the discipline. For me, it's an everyday thing. I still practice every day. It's a, it's an everyday experience, and the reality is that you, I guess the outcomes can sometimes with other persons they may look from the outside in and figure, man, geez, oh boy, these fellas living hard. But difficult. They don't necessarily have the same trappings, material trappings that maybe some other professions do. But to be honest, the satisfaction and the joy. There are times I go to work playing music, and it's possibly a nondescript gig. You're just playing for dinner. I've done dinner gigs where I've actually done a dinner gig where there's nobody, nobody in the dining room. It's just playing the chairs, and I enjoy the gig. And but I mean, I enjoy even more if there are people.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
of
mean,
course.
and people enjoying it, and that's what I live for. I actually do enjoy playing music for persons, writing music that make people, sit down, listen, think a bit, maybe jump up and enjoy, and react. So, yeah, if you're passionate about it, then nobody's going to tell you nor anything, and you'll find a way, and hopefully you'll work hard at it and take this industry and Barbados to another level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, there is one more question that I have for you. You do have a very extensive career in music and as a teacher, but is there anything else that you want to do? Anything else you want to add to that resume?
Yeah, yeah. There are things, there, there are things I'm always looking to do, and I'm working on. Currently, this summer, because summers for me are the opportunities to do something other than BCC or
Yeah.
law school or teach. Believe it or not, I have an idea to write some string quartets
Nice.
based on the music of El Verno del Congo. And I've also written a lot of hymns for the Methodist Church. I want to compile them. I'm getting fairly close to 60.
Nice.
So my
Wow.
goal is to produce a book of 60 hymns, 60 new hymns, new melodies to old hymns. And so there's some projects down the line that hopefully once I have enough time, enough energy, yeah, man, I will keep writing and producing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so, so much for sharing your wisdom and your experience with us. We look forward to see that book of 60 hymns come to being. So thank you again. Your music continues to touch lives and reminds us of the profound impact that art can have on someone's life. Thank you all so much for joining the MRD chat room. Once again, my name is Julia Boyce, and I have been your host. We look forward to seeing you next time.